My question is this, my nigger. How come you've been watching the news all day long and they didn't tell you Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton, George Bush Sr., Donald Trump, and others were raping little children, putting poop in their dead bodies, and then eating them? Guess who released that, my nigger? The Department of Justice.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
I'm not talking about targeting children. I'm talking about...
Told me that 14-year-olds deserve to die because they're working for him.
I'm telling you...
My question is, can you hear yourself?
I'm from Trader Joe's and we're not fucking around anymore.
Tell everybody what Trader Joe's you work at.
I work at the Trader Joe's on the Upper West Side, 96th Street, nigga. Fuck yeah.
You're gonna tell me you're gonna pull up in 5 minutes and you pull up in 10 minutes? Fuck you.
This is why Hillary fucking sucks.
Shut your bitch ass.
Why my money? God, why would you do that? Put it back.
If I ran to trade for it, I'd take them both to China.
I'm talking about your time in college. You went, you fucked off. They said, this is not a man for higher education.
No, fuck no.
He's not ready for books.
Where'd you go?
It's time for podcasts.
I went to Delaware County Community College for a year. President's list, no big deal.
Can't live with her, can't live without her. Candace fucking Owens. Of all the tweets, replies, and quote tweets, and you walked into mine.
You've said that you have a .38-inch penis. Just from your hand, can you kind of demonstrate like how big or how small that would be?
And it's probably like the size of my fingernail.
And is that fully erect or is that flaccid?
That's erect. Like
diversion and distraction, which is let's stop talking about AIPAC and let's stop talking about Israel and let's stop talking about foreign aid and all that other stuff.
And let's find Muslims to blame.
Like, Ma, I've been at the house touching my balls and hitting my cart. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not in the danger.
They are such dreamy boys.
Yogurt.
If I pick up my phone and send out a tweet, if I say good morning, within minutes I will have hundreds of blatantly anti-Semitic responses.
Oh, something ain't been right all day, man. I've been so fucking horny all fucking day, and it's snowing. That's what it is.
All your heroes in sports are gay as fuck. Yeah, dude. I'm proud of them. I'm not down on them. I hope that's clear.
Sure.
Tim Duncan tried to fuck me in the mothership green room, and I appreciate it. I don't blame Tim Duncan. The guy knows what he wants. He's not made of stone.
He's got feelings.
It's the Jews. It's not the Jews, bro. It is the Jews.
I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing this shit.
Say that again.
Are treated like niggers.
Oh, great job, Julian. Shame on you.
I fantasize about the Trump administration being a burning building and JD Vance is chained to the mattress and he's gonna burn with it. I cannot fucking wait because it couldn't happen to a more deserving person and group of people than these.
Figure eight to finger rolls. Not bad. Oh my god. That sway in the continuous overhand. You can tell she's got some flow.
Watch your step. Tuck in your gut. You have just entered the Sammy report.
We'll see, though. It will not be racially segregated, okay? Niggas welcome. Niggas welcome. Just, mind your manners. Okay?
Hello, and welcome to the fucking Sammy report. Yay. This is part A. There's part A, B, and C. Part A, I'm going to start off with what the fuck should we do? What the fuck do we do? And you go, well, what's the problem? I'll get there. What the fuck should we do? What the fuck do we do? What the fuck are we do? What the fuck when we do? Let's make all of those points clear. Jewish people. Jewish person. Basically, I think I figured this out. Jewish people or person maybe like money, and I also like money, but I don't have money, and I think if we blame them, we get to have the money. Alright, so, yeah, the point of this episode is, I'm going to explain to you why, America, actually, slaves. Yeah, no, we are occupied by another nation. Let's be very fucking clear. The United States of America is occupied and controlled by another nation. That nation has done that through in the last 50 to 60 years. They have slowly infiltrated our government. Most of our congressmen and women have dual loyalty to Israel. They don't have to make that public. That's a problem. I'll get into that. You know, we're not sovereign. We're not able to make our own decisions, and we're not able to make decisions that represent our people. And we haven't been in 20, 30 years. I'll get into that. And, you know, what the fuck do we do about any of it? Is the question. And I wanted to put this first. So this is coming, and then you'll get a big, 20 minutes or whatever explanation of why I say, why we are occupied. And then at the end, I will talk about a couple current events, some silly Billy stuff. Stick around. But yeah, so I figured if you just want to know, all right, I'm gonna just watch the first 20 minutes of this. I'm gonna get my shit. I'm gonna know what to do. I'm gonna go out in the world. I'm gonna make it worse. That's what we're doing. No, hopefully not. Possible, but I'm always aiming to be a good person. If I'm a villain, a piece of shit, and I just have no idea, I apologize, guys. Please don't kill me. Help me change. Okay? So, what can I do about the fact that, we're not totally sovereign. We're in a war now. We are in war with Iran. Not like, we'd hit them there. We'd throw a couple punches. Fuck you. Muslims, we don't like you. You guys pray to a God that I don't believe in. Or something. I have no idea. You live in the desert? Yeah, so we don't really know much about this place. We don't really give a fuck about it. Most people don't. But we are in a war with these people. So I'm going to explain why we're in a war that it seems like the president really did not want to get into. I mean, he made that pretty fucking clear. Although he does go back on everything. It didn't seem like this would have been his call. It's really actually like horrifically embarrassing for him. Just on that, and that is a real thing when it comes to Donald Trump. He does care about that. So, if we're not able to make those calls, it has like a fucking 10% approval rate, and they're just the retarded MAGA people that pretty much are probably mostly dual citizenship with Israel or shills for Israel. Obviously, it's not 10% of the population, but you get what I'm saying. So what the fuck do we do? What's the point of doing all this? Is it just to shit on, Israel or, make life harder for Jewish people? No, of course not. That's not what I'm fucking trying to do here at all. And in fact, I really don't want to make... It really is a shame what all of this is doing to normal American Jewish people. All of this shit. And I go hard as fuck about it, and I'm very honest, and I say, there is, Judaism is relevant here. To act like Judaism has nothing to do with Israel it seems kind of silly, right? Like, you can't live there if you're not blood related, if you're not Jewish by blood, by your mother. So there's obviously something there, but, I'm just being honest. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you honestly how I feel about it. But it does fucking suck for a lot of normal, especially poor or middle class Jews in America, which there are, believe it or not. They don't all own fucking CNN. It sucks that if I was 0.2% or 2% or whatever of the population, and the only representation you saw of me was these warmongering, autistic, fucking crazy people, that would really suck. It does paint a really bad picture, and it does lead to genuine anti-Semitism, which I don't support. The thing is, most of the stuff that those guys above those normal Jews, whatever the fuck these guys are, the people that Candace Owens calls the Khazarians. No, they're Jewish people. They're Israelis. That's what they are. Like, you can see it. You can see what they're doing and why. They explain it. They write books. They have their own media. Their own media is pretty honest. If you want to know what's going on in Israel, you can ask them. Jonathan Pollard, remember that spy that, I don't know, how many documents did he steal? Like 10 or 20 documents? Oh no, he stole 2 tons worth of paper. And all of that was related to nuclear and national security while he was working for the United States. So he was sentenced to life in prison, which he has somehow escaped, did the death penalty on that. And then he was released after like 20 or 30, it was 30 years. And brought back to Israel, and now he's running for the Knesset. And if you just go on the what is it, the Israel Times or something like that, there's a video of him talking with a woman there, like a newscaster, explaining how they should, like, he's like, we should not be afraid to nuke them. Back in the day, they said, I don't think it was JFK. I think it was after that. But I know there was another situation where we had kind of threatened to cut them off, and they said, They wheeled out the fucking nukes out onto the tarmac and they said, hey, take a look what we got, buddy. And the lady was like, so we threatened to use, and he's like, let's just say unconventional weapons. And they're like, are you saying that's what we should threaten again? And I'm like, yes. And you know what? If they think we're bluffing, we go forward. We do it. It's like, okay, well, that's fucking insane. That's obviously, like, this guy he might be in the Knesset, which is like our Senate. Like, how are they our ally? He is the biggest known criminal, like, traitor in American history. I don't think anyone has ever stolen that much shit. I mean, I could fucking confirm that, but hello? It sounded like somebody was coming in to kill me. But so, no, he's actually brought home to our ally, and he's gonna possibly be in the government again. He's not even disqualified from that. And he's also saying we shouldn't be afraid to nuke us. Yeah, like that. If Jelly was like, yeah, he's my best friend, but he was like, yo, I think Sammy, he does piss me off sometimes. Like, he goes on these tangents during the podcast, and I'm like, dude, that was a waste of time, wasn't funny. We should nuke him. You know, we've threatened him in the past to nuke him and kill him. I think we should actually go forward and kill him. I'd be like, that guy's probably not actually my best friend. And if he's my best friend, then goddamn, I need some new friends. And Jelly he has threatened me in the past with nuclear weapons. Let's just say. Vibrators. Shove it on my, no, I promise I'd be quiet about that. You know, so, no, they're not exactly our best buddies. And I'm trying to think, where was I? Yeah, so sorry. Ugh. Yeah, so obviously, yes, it is related to that. It's not the fucking Khazarians, okay? You know, it's just these guys. They're doing it. But let's see here, okay? What can we actually do? What politically or socially or fucking, like, what the fuck can we do? That sounds scary. It sounds shitty. Confusing, maybe, you know? But is there anything that we can even do? Probably, there's nothing we can do to get ourselves out of this war. You know, it was going to be like a day and then 4 days. Now they apparently moved some dudes down to Florida because it's going to be like 100 days minimum. So they're going to be selling a lot of weapons, and we really aren't prepped for this. I don't think I talked about it later, so really quick. You know, we're not boots on the ground right now. That is going to come. Trump wanted to go in there quick, hard, whatever, but you really can't end these guys, you know, the regime through sea and air power alone. You know, they have these ballistic missiles that are, you know, they can't reach us with them, but they can just pretty much launch them from anywhere. They're super light, they're super fucking cheap, and we use these interceptors to catch them and, you know, go boom boom. But the interceptors only have a 20% chance of hitting a fucking missile, because it's a lot harder to hit a missile than it is to launch a missile at someone, you know. But so like, bro, we don't have a ton of these things. So we have to send out 5 of them if we hope to, you know, get every single missile, you know, 5 interceptors to 1 missile. And the interceptors are 7 times the price of 1 missile. So we're spending 35 times the price every single time we're blocking each missile, and we're going to run out. Okay. So like, we're not exactly like, you know, and I've said, like, of course we're going to win, but that's going to require boots on the ground. You can't enforce a regime change in a country this size like that. It's just not possible. And you'll see. I don't think I'm wrong on this one. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping they avoid boots on the ground as much as possible, because I don't want people to die. But I just don't see it going any other way with the rhetoric that we're getting now. They're just going to keep kind of slowly expanding it and normalizing it into people. Oh, well, they I guess that's fine. I guess that's fine is how they get you. Like, well, yeah, that's fucked up. But, you know, just a little more. Oh, we've been there for 20 years and everyone's dead. We have no monies. Fuck. And then 15 minutes go by. Well, what about the other country? Let's go run that bitch back. It's like, yeah. Trump, you're based as shit. No, not really. Not at all. So, yeah, that's kind of where that's all at. What the fuck can we do about it? Really, the only thing we can do is come together. I talk about it all the time. I don't know if we need a new political party. You know, the America First Party is super right-wing, so I know people aren't gonna... But we need some sort of moderate populist yeah, I mean, politically moderate, somewhat radical political movement that it's populist, like, I sound like a retard. We need something that the left and the right can get behind, you know, something that, and listen, I get it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for people to come together, because that is the biggest problem right now, is that people think all of these problems are stemming from the right and the left, and it's coming from above. And I'm not going to say that, you know, a lot of people say the right and the left are the exact same party. It's all one thing. It's all the exact same thing. It's not quite the exact same thing. They don't love each other. But they're aware of this setup, and they do play off of this setup, which is why, you know, they're not always trying to get shit done. They're getting ready for the next election cycle. The next election cycle, just fucking hold the line, hold the line, hold the line, hold my cock. And that doesn't fucking work. And we're not going to be able to go, well, the lesser of two evils again. We're going to have to get involved. We're going to have to vote in fucking primaries. We're going to have to get out there. And bro, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. If we're ever going to have like some sort of coalition of Americans coming together, I think the olive branch has to come from the right, because I don't see liberals, and especially liberal women, extending this olive branch, you know, and saying, well, you know, maybe abortion we can chill on a little bit, or maybe, you know, climate change we can not, you know, worry about quite as much, but we can focus on a couple other things and get the really important shit done that isn't getting done whatsoever by either party, you know, like the economy, like inflation, like home ownership. Joe Biden didn't fucking help anyone with this, okay? I do give him credit, because that college refund thing was good, but it didn't do enough. And the college system that we have right now, giving people $10,000 off their loan, like, that's great, that's helpful, that's not, I'm not saying that's nothing, but like, that does not solve the issue here. There's no jobs at all. These are the real problems that everybody cares about, right? Like, we all want freedom to say what we want to say. We all want, you know, to be able to afford a home, to have privacy, to have, you know, safe cities and safe places to live. You know, good, well-trained police officers that know how to handle shit, that don't shoot Alex Pretty in the head 37 times because he's bent over the wrong way. You know, it's just, we do want most of the same things, right? We want our kids to be healthy. We want healthcare. You know, we want good education. We want there to be good jobs, you know, but the only thing that we fight over is whether or not you said the N-word in 2012, or, you know, if somebody's like nice to trans people, that's a red line for some fucking Republican. It's like, bro, we're gonna have to drop some of the bullshit. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but you can reconvene eventually. But for right now, like, we need the right and the left to fucking just go, listen, bro, I don't fucking think you're a great person. I don't like you, but you're an American. For the most part, you want the same things as me, and, you know, we're going to have to stand together. And you're going to have to get over your shit. Like, you're going to have to get over your racism, and you're going to have to get over some of your homophobia, because we got to work together. Okay. And the left is going to have some fucking grace for some dudes, right? Like, if some guy used to use the N-word all the time, maybe even in a race, maybe he was a racist piece of shit, but now he's trying to change. Like, he was raised by a guy that was a piece of shit and taught him all that stuff, you know, and now he's trying to change. It's not fair to go, well, look at your Twitter back then, you fucking asshole piece of shit. Let's crucify him. It's like, no, that's actually not helpful. That guy was trying to change. It's not his fault that he was raised in that way. You know, this stuff is taught. So we have to drop the shit. We have to give each other grace, and we have to come together and say, hey, and this is American Jews as well. I don't mean to exclude them. Like, this is not a us versus the Jews. This is definitely a us versus Israel thing. They are the enemy, honestly. They are destroying this place. They don't give a fuck about it. They are just trying to extract as much money physically possible out of every single person, while lying to your face about fucking everything. Those guys are our enemy. They are not, I'm not saying we need to hurt them, but I'm saying we need to keep them from holding all the fucking power. You don't get to just hold all the power here. It's not working for anyone, you know? Especially when you're not even like specifically a citizen of this country. You can go to the place you've been protecting and funding the whole time. That shit, that's not fair. That's not okay. You know, we have so many issues here that could be solved by redistributing our funds. If we had one fucking person that had any idea what they were doing, we could solve all of our problems. We have the money. You know, it's just, when half your GDP is sitting in offshore accounts, multiplying over there in another country, never to be seen or used by the American people. Yeah, that fucking sucks. And so when the Dow's over 50,000, none of that's us. I don't even know what a stock is. Most people don't know what the fucking blockchain is. So yeah, it doesn't matter that that's propping up the economy. We all go to the store and everything has gotten either more expensive or stayed the same. And it has been going like that for a long fucking time. And you're not paying us any more monies because that would make the prices go up. Well, the prices would keep going up no matter what. So maybe we could, I don't know, put some more money into the economy. No, too risky. Well, everyone's homeless. Well, what? And it's one thing if we're homeless, but we can't even fucking you find a chick. Okay, you find a person on the fucking train tracks. Score, and you can't even have that. So it's what? So we have to be homeless, but we can't even eat each other's legs when we kill each other or die or kill ourselves by train. The fuck? That's not American. Okay. So yes, that's what we need to do. We need to come together. We need to have fucking grace for each other. Okay. The libs, yeah, they suck. And the magatards, yeah, they suck. Okay. A lot of it sucks, but they're not evil. They are our people. They are Americans. And, I don't really give a fuck what color, religion, anything you are. If you care about the country, you want people to be healthy, happy, and have normal lives and experience life in the most beautiful place in the world, the place that we are so fucking lucky and blessed to be born in, yeah, then we're all on the same team. It doesn't matter. If you tell the truth and you care about this place and you want people's lives to get better, then I'm on your team. That's just the end of the story. Yeah, we might disagree about oh, well, abortion should be allowed 8 months, or no, I think it should be allowed 6 months. Yeah, well, we can figure that out later, bro. But we are, I don't know, being shipped to Iran to die for a random fucking money-making company, Israel. That's not exactly, that's a big fucking problem. We need to work together on this shit and stick together and not call each other cucks for Israel for being in the military, because it's not exactly helpful. I'll get into that later, but yeah, so I wanted to start with that. Now, let's talk about why I think that, and maybe I'll just be reciting the same shit, but okay, all right. Love you. I'll see you in 2 seconds. Now, boom. But let's get fucking for real, bro. I don't want this intro to be too nonsensical and bullshit, because we do have real shit to talk about. We are at fucking war. You can run the archive back. I said that this was going to happen. Now, listen, calling this in the last few months is not exactly calling your fucking shot, Babe Ruth hitting that bitch. More stealing second. It's not exactly calling a home run. It's not quite that impressive, but I could see where it was going. And it was really clear. And now the more that I look into this, it's so clear. And the thing I want to specifically talk about this is why? Because everyone's why? Why would we do that? And and it's even been going to war with Iran was a joke. It was the neocons. If we were to go to war with Iran, that was their wet fucking dream. They wanted that. And Trump was, in their mind, the guy that would keep us from that. At least the one thing he would not do is go to war with Iran, because, he came down the escalator saying, we're going to get all the fucking money interest out of this. I'm a billionaire. I don't need any of that shit. I can make my own decisions. And yeah, I didn't think his decisions were very good, but I can see how important that is now. And I can see why the people that were more tapped in at the time, even if they didn't love all his rhetoric, that's an interesting fucking thing. We're in trouble. We're at war right now because of this. It's why it's especially tricky, because Trump, it didn't even make sense. To a liberal, maybe it makes sense that he's doing this stuff. But if you really have been in politics, that really, you'll see in the intro, the clip of him saying that our Obama's so retarded that he's going to get us into war with Iran because he's a fucking retard and weak. So you first, but yeah. And I go into class today. I don't know if you know this, but James Tallarico, I'm a big fan of him. I've been following him for a few months. He just won the primary yesterday in Texas against Jasmine Crockett, who's a black woman there she was trying to be reelected, I believe. And Tallarico is the wokest Christian pastor of all time. He's hated by the Christian nationalists. He's hated by the right. He's a Democrat. And my only problems with him really were that maybe he was even a little too woke. But overall, he's a reasonable guy. He's very smart. He's not crazy. He doesn't seem to be lying. We'll see how he's still got to win, but we'll see how he does, if he does. And it's just hilarious to see the again, like, I see it in person now that I'm the one that's tapped in and I'm surrounded by the goys, the goyim. And yeah, so like, you know, the girls in my class are like, Jasmine Crockett got robbed yesterday by a Christian nationalist. It's like, okay, he's not a fucking Christian nationalist. You clearly have never watched a single thing he said. Like, he's very opposed to that, actually. He's a liberal wet dream, and the fact that he beat a black woman who none of these kids in my class could tell you a single policy that she's done or, you know, in favor of. They don't seem to be aware that she is significantly more pro-Israel than he is, even though they are adamantly against Israel, not for the exact same reasons as me maybe, but definitely involving, and, you know, for them it's all the Gaza war. It's just like, you know, and we watch 20 minutes of this Democracy Now! News station thing of this lady explaining how Christianity is the reason why we're going to war, and Christian nationalism, and how Trump is being guided by Jesus, according to sources, and that, you know, some crazy ass Christian nationalist that doesn't think women should be able to vote or that interracial marriage is okay came to the White House or whatever and talked with Hegseth. It's like, yeah, that's bad. That guy sucks. Obviously, he's a retard, but Netanyahu's been to the White House like 7 times this year. If you look at what happened, Israel has been, you know, they've not only wanted this war for 30 some years, you know, there's a lot of literature about it. Like, they explain it, they explain why. And it's like, you talk about colonial expansionism, and the only thing we talk about is white people. It's like, yeah, they did that for sure. They do that for sure. We don't, you know, stand for that today, but you want to talk about colonial expansionism, and, you know, you should talk about Israel. That's their entire plan, is to degrade these Middle Eastern countries with our help because they couldn't defend themselves or do it without us. And, you know, that's why the war in Gaza happened. And you saw what they're willing to do, what that government, the Israeli government, is willing to do to people. So much has fucking happened over the last 2 weeks that, like, it's all so important, and I wish I had more time to fucking talk, which is kind of why I want to start streaming. But, like, if any of you guys watch the Mike Huckabee shit, he talked with Tucker. Did I talk about this on the last one? I actually don't know. I apologize if I fucking did. But Huckabee is he's our ambassador to he is the United States, like, our ambassador to Israel. So he's supposed to represent our interests to Israel. Yeah, the guy's a Christian Zionist. Like, he loves Israel. He's the guy that's like, he said, like, Christian or Jewish people do not need Christians, but Christians could not exist without Jews. Well, they're their own fucking whatever. You know, obviously that's silly. And so I'm not, you know, I don't want to come on here and be a fucking anti-Semite. Like, I don't want my brand to be anti-Israel, but it sucks because, bro, at the moment, how can we be serious? How can I claim to be fucking serious about any of this stuff when everything points towards this? Nothing can really be done in the meantime. I mean, what are you going to do? The Democrats are paid by Israel. The Republicans are paid by Israel. They make decisions based on that. And you want to say, oh, no, they don't. Okay, well, have you ever seen them agree on anything in Congress? Have you ever seen them meet up and there's 100% agreement on anything? Whether it's abortion, whether it's rights given to certain groups, whether it's literally fucking anything. And the only thing every single time that they all support is more money to Israel, more funding to Israel. And that doesn't represent how America feels about this at all. You know, the approval rating of that is incredibly low, and yet the congressional support for it is basically 100%. And when you get guys like Thomas Massey or Marjorie Taylor Greene that dissent from that and say, hey, we probably shouldn't be funding these people. They're, you know, right now they are perpetrating a war in the Middle East that is, you know, just a war crime. It is a walking war crime. And what's going on in Iran is going to be a war crime. You know, you can't just go in and bomb places with really it doesn't seem like they have a really good plan. They're just trying to fuck it up and see what happens. You know, you got Trump telling the Iranians they need to rise up against this shit. It's like, yeah, that's going to get so many fucking people killed. And not just American soldiers. And I'll get back to why, like, probably not that many American soldiers are going to die. Initially, they were probably going to go in quickly and hit them really fucking hard and pull out. That's what they said. Now, you know, I'm getting a word that Trump is talking about this being a forever war, which that is basically just these wars like you saw in Iraq, Afghanistan, that, like, the only thing they do is they sell military equipment for long periods of times. So it's like money laundering and through human suffering and soldiers literally dying and bleeding out in the battlefield, so that dudes can, like, put more money in an offshore account somewhere that they'll never touch, you know? So it's a big deal. this stuff is fucking real. I mean, again, I'm gonna be wrong about some shit, and I'm definitely like I'm not gonna get it all right. But the thing is, I will be very fucking honest with you. And I know that this stuff sometimes comes off radical, but it's true. And try to find a good reason for us to fight this war. You'll quickly notice that actually it kind of benefits us to have Iran in the Middle East, because they kind of can't do anything to us. They don't have nuclear weapons, you know. We justified going in last year and dropping the bunker buster right on their fucking dome piece, and that was in order, and it was in order to destroy their nuclear proliferation, and we had apparently succeeded massively. You know, Israel went in and bombed them, and they said, well, we can't get deep enough. Can you go deeper? And we were like, we'll go so fucking deep. I'm busting your bunker, bitch. And they did that. They claimed it was a wild success, and now somehow they're just back to basically being days away from a nuclear weapon. I mean, what the fuck? So did that fail, or are you lying? You're lying somewhere, right? Yeah, so listen, I'm barely Christian. You know, like, I am a Christian technically, but I'm not even sure if I really believe in God or not. I'm figuring this shit out. I'm not like super loyal to Christianity. I'm really, really actually like critical of especially Catholicism. But in general, I'm not like this, like, I don't care about America being a Christian country, because it really isn't. Maybe it was initially, but it's been a fucking long time, and the founders made it clear that they wanted it to, you know, religious freedom to be an important thing. The problem here is when I'm watching the news of a woman who, you know, the Democracy Now! Woman, you look her up and she's a Jewish woman and she's just babbling about how Christianity is the reason for all this. That's lying and that's fear-mongering. That one guy going to the office, going to meet with Pete Hegseth, yeah, I mean, they shouldn't have that guy there. He's fucking ridiculous. But that's not anywhere near as a big, you know, as important or as relevant to this fucking situation than Netanyahu coming to the White House 6-7 times in, you know, 1 year. I think it was 6, to be fair, and begging for this war to happen. So, and I've heard that a couple different things, that like Trump didn't want to go. Well, he initially, of course, did not want to go to war. This obviously looks terrible. There are consequences, and we don't have much to gain from it. We're going to lose money. The people are like, well, what about the oil there? We could just take all their fucking oil. Yeah, well, we're spending more money just floating our fucking boats out there. We're using more oil than we would be able to fucking yank out of the ground, because, first of all, we're not going to be the first ones to get the money from that. You got the guy that is potentially going to take the place as the new ruler, this like exiled prince, and the first thing he did was explain how important it is that he has, or that Iran has, a positive and a mutually beneficial relationship with Israel. So obviously he knows, like, that's the person you got to please. You know, they're the ones that make these calls. They apparently were like, if you don't go in, we're going in. And we legally, you know, I have to actually look at the law. I've heard this a bunch of times. I don't know the specific statute or where it came to be, but we have to defend them legally. And I do know that this part is true of the law, that we cannot supply a nation, like if we were supporting someone else that was not, we can't give better weapons to any country than Israel. So if we give, you know, $500 million of weapons to, you know, fucking Ukraine or something, we have to give, you know, something better to Israel. It's like, why? Who the fuck are they exactly to us? You know, we created them as a safe haven after the Holocaust, which I understand and can appreciate. That doesn't mean that they just get to run our government now for the rest of fucking time. And especially considering they don't seem to give a fuck about America doing well. They don't care about its people. They put all their own members of, you know, of Israel into our Congress. They have dual loyalty, so, you know, dual citizenship and different between America and Israel. You know, the problem with that being in our government is that if shit goes bad here, they can leave. They can make decisions that might be negative. They might negatively impact Americans and positively impact Israelis. And our government should probably prioritize us. I'm not saying they should pass laws to fuck with those people or to make their lives harder or something. I'm saying they should not prioritize another country over us. That's not like crazy national. Yeah, it's nationalistic. Like, I care about my country. I do live here. My kids are going to grow up here. My friends are here. Black, white, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, gay, straight, transgender, you know? Oh, I'm just not really understanding what the problem with my thinking is. And, you know, I even talk in class. I know how people see me when I question it or I talk about any of this stuff. No matter how I say it, people look at me like I am, I don't know, Fuentes. at Georgetown when he was or wherever the fuck he went, Boston University, rocking the MAGA hat in like 2017. It's like, I look like the autistic kid with the MAGA hat on or something, when I don't fucking even support that, but just, yeah, you know, people think this shit started fucking yesterday. You know, it kills me. Like, I don't expect everyone to read everything, but goddamn, they, you know, they burned, there was shit about them burning a Baal statue, a statue of that, like, three-headed god, like, a week ago, which I don't even think was fucking real. And I saw these things like, Iran posted a video of them burning an effigy of Baal, or the guy was like Baal, which of course he doesn't know anything. You don't even know about fucking three-headed demon gods, you fucking idiot. No, but it's like, bro, and the US then, you know, attacked? Huh, coincidence. No, that's not really a coincidence. Those two things really don't have anything to do here. This has been going on for like 50 fucking years, man. In everything they've written, the overall goal is to, you know, have homogeny in the Middle East. Like, they want to homogeny. I think it's a slightly different word than homogeny, but whatever the fuck, you know, you might know what I mean. If you don't, fuck you. So yeah, I mean, it's just been the long-term goal. It's pretty obvious if you look at where the money is going and who owns the media and what the media is saying. It's not a coincidence, and it's not anti-Semitic to say, but yeah, all of these media companies are owned by Israeli citizens, or at least dual citizens, and the anchors tend to also be. And they seem to really leave Israel out of this fucking conflict, when anyone that has read anything can tell you that this is wildly beneficial potentially for Israel and devastating for us in pretty much every sense. What are the pros of this? It might be able, if they go in quick, which they don't seem to be planning to do, hit hard, win, and somehow Iran like becomes less, I don't even fucking know. Maybe that paints the administration, like they can say, oh look, you know, you guys all doubted us, well, you thought it was gonna be Afghanistan, and look, it was totally different. And it is different, but it's not. Still, as we shouldn't be doing this. People are already dead. American citizens, American soldiers are dead. You know, I have a friend, well, my girlfriend's friend, her husband had to write his fucking will this week. That's not okay. And yes, Leah, listen, like, he knows he signed up for this. He knows that death is an option that is more likely for him than the average citizen. And, you know, as much as I say that you shouldn't join the fucking military at the moment, I respect him. Of course, I respect him personally, like, a ton, but also just, I mean, because I know him and he's a good guy. But, like, even just it is patriotic. It is, like, you know, I don't want to just shit on these people because they're not the problem at all. They're absolutely not the problem at all. You know, even I shit on these like liberal women because they don't read anything, and they just kind of, and men too, but dumbasses that don't read anything. They are a problem. They're more of a problem than he is for sure, but they're not the problem. Like, they're being psyops. Psyops are real and they work. I say this every time, like, I gotta give people grace because psyops are real and they fucking work. You know, the news is constantly spinning a narrative for financial or political gain. Single company. These companies don't just, like, it's not like, oh yeah, I want to talk about the news. Like, that's why 4 people watch this. I don't have a fucking show on MSNBC. You know, you don't get to just be popular and get that. You have to be pushing a specific narrative or a specific idea. That's how that fucking works. Okay. So it comes back to, like, I mean, how many different instances of this do we need to see before people kind of get their head on straight that, like, Israel's in control here? You know, we watched a genocide happen, right? On TikTok. That was where it gained the most traction. And Israel decided, and were very clear in that the 8th front of their war, you know what the 6th and 7th were? Or something? You know, the West Bank and Iran. The 8th, though, is TikTok. Because TikTok is where people are normal, regular normies who don't fucking look into this shit are able to see the Holocaust happening. And most people don't really like to see that. We are aware that the Holocaust was very bad and that we are trying not to redo that. So when we see a country doing it, especially as fucked up as it is, the country of people whose ancestors went through that fucking experience, yeah, people are going to be pretty fucking pissed. They're going to say, fuck that country. They're not going to be that deep about it. It's not anti-Semitic. They don't really, nobody knows anything about Judaism here. We really don't. So it's just the fact that you're committing a genocide. And when students went out and protested that, if they weren't from the US, deported, gone. If they were United States students, they were removed from their campus. They were removed from, you know, they no longer had the opportunity to pursue an education there at Harvard, at Yale, at Penn. You know, all of their staff got fired because they allowed these protests, you know, which Of course they did. And they were able to spin it like, oh, you blocked kids from getting to class and things like that. And it's like, you can dig and dig and dig and you can find somebody fucking up. Or, you send someone to a protest to fuck it up. That also happens. And they got them all fired. And, you fire a black woman who's the head of, at Penn, she's the president, and you replace her with a Jewish woman because of anti-Semitism. They called the shots. I'm not saying that like anti-Semitism should be totally protected. Like you should just go yapping about Hitler being the best and like, no, of course not. That's just lame and evil and retarded also. But you got to be able to call shit how it is. Like clearly that's a problem. Clearly like a country that is not my country, the United States of America, I believe is what I'm a citizen of. A country I'm not allowed to go to. Maybe I can visit it. I probably can't now. A country that, again, I don't live there. I'm not allowed to be a citizen there. I may not even be able to visit it, somehow is in charge of everything that we do. Who gets to go to our universities? They block citizenship based on past anti-Semitic tweets. So who gets to come into the country? Who can stay? Who gets to get the best education at the private universities, at the Ivy League universities? Whether or not we go to war with a Middle Eastern country, whether or not American citizens will die is their call. And you can replace Israel with any other country if it makes you feel better. If you feel uncomfortable, you can replace it with any other country and see how you feel about it if they were able to do that. And again, I mean, you can say I'm wrong, you can say I'm lying, but I mean, this all did happen. We have record of it. It's all public information. Larry Ellison just bought, they to solve the TikTok problem, Larry Ellison bought it. So now they own the algorithm. They were given the algorithm, actually. So, why? If we had Chinese propaganda or Chinese hatred towards the Chinese because they were committing a genocide and have been and are, if they were able to buy our media companies because of that and kick our students out of universities for criticizing it, or stop like a random Mexican guy from living in the United States because he criticized China, you'd be like, well, why the fuck is China allowed to decide any of that? None of us live there, can't go there, can't live there. That just because what? And is it anti-Chinese to say, hey, I don't want you to make the decision for my fucking country. You don't live here. Or if you maybe do, if you're a dual citizen, like most of the Israelis are, you can leave as soon as shit gets bad. You can come in here and you fight for all of these things here, kind of. Israeli, you want to get into the fucking meat of it. I mean, you can see how they interact with civil rights. They start like, it's so fucking crazy. Back in the day, they did support affirmative action, but they didn't support it in certain cases. Like there's this Back, this guy that he tried to get into Harvard Medical School or something, and was denied. He said that the racial quotas that they were filling were unconstitutional, blah, blah, blah. And they actually, like the ADL and these other Jewish like organizations that would typically support affirmative action, said, actually, no, we're going to support this guy because quotas have been, unconstitutional in the past. And they have been used to limit how many Jewish students can get into universities. And then, and then they go right back to fighting for civil rights and fighting for all these things, and all these lawyers were entrenched in all of that. And then 2023 rolls around and affirmative action got pulled back, and you go, why? Well, there was this case called SFFA versus Harvard in 2023. It's like Students for Fair Admissions or something like that. It's led by this guy Edward Bloom, who is a Jewish guy who led the charge and got it actually removed. Like affirmative action became unconstitutional. So it's like they support it when it's convenient. They don't really seem to. I don't think that in general the Israeli government is like interested or supports civil rights for black people, Mexican people, anyone else, white people even. What they're interested in is benefiting their own people. And that's fine. Like, that's not inherently negative. Like there's organizations for black people in America that like work for the benefit of black people. And that's not racist to white people. That's not fucked up. And they don't but they're not like wildly powerful. They don't own the media. They don't own the president. They don't give presidential campaign. They give, like Miriam Adelson, she gave him Trump $100 million in 2016. He wins, he comes in, he rips up the Iranian deal that Obama did behind Israel's back. So that solved this issue temporarily in like 2015, I believe. And then Trump is elected and he pushes the ball until he can rip that shit up. And that is what led to this. Not ball last week. They burned a fucking effigy of a fucking donkey. I mean, that's, Yeah, maybe that pissed people off if they actually give a fuck about that, but no, that's not why this is happening. Like, this has been going on. So that's my, like, people need to understand that, like, the Jews you see on the street, that's not the people that I'm talking about. I'm not saying go fight fucking Jewish people. That's not how this works. These are incredibly powerful people, and it's really, really, really organized. And yeah, they might take the side of Israel faster than, anyone else, but realistically, that's not gonna fucking help anything. It isn't. I want to call things out. I want to be honest and say, yeah, I mean, to act like there's no Jewish component of this is probably irresponsible, or I'm not going far enough, because it's just like, bro, I mean, it is Israel. They are a Jewish ethno-state. You can't live there if your mother is not Jewish by blood. So that like definitely is a part of this, but it does not mean that like Jewishness inherently is this thing. I have no idea. Could be, could not be. I know some Jews that are pretty fucking amazing people, so it's hard for me to say that, and I don't want to speak in generalities in general. But yeah, this is Israel. They are benefiting from this. They are calling the shots. They forced us into this, either through coercion, paying people off, fuck tons of money. There's just so much influence and power coming from this. I mean, look at a fucking map of this place. You can understand why they're trying to fucking expand. Iran is 50 times bigger. So yeah, if they're able to claim the West Bank, which they are now, Gaza, and they degrade Iran for the next couple years to the point where they're not even a country anymore. I mean, first off, obviously so many people are going to die. Americans are going to die. Iranians are going to suffer for a long time. They're going to be displaced. A ton of people are going to be brought here. And when they're brought here, you're going to have the same people, the Israelis in Congress, going, Muslims are coming here to kill you and rape your kids. They're going to rape everyone. What the hell? What the hell? We were just so nice to them. It's like, no, you fucking hate these people. Randy Fine, again, I say it every episode, go read that fucking guy's tweets. It's evil. It should not be allowed. It's the craziest shit ever. And then that's the same person and people that are crying about racism and anti-Semitism and things. It's like, bro, you're so fucking evil and racist. Like, you fucking hate brown people. You hate Muslims. Christians, yeah, they're probably not a big fan of Muslims, but you guys really fucking hate them. I'm just saying. I mean, like, nobody is screaming harder to go cut their head off. I mean, Netanyahu has been solely focused on this for fucking 30 years. But no, it's a video that they saw a TikTok. Trump saw a TikTok last week and decided to, I'm actually just going to throw away all of my support that is left. The 12 supporters I have left after everyone found out I raped kids or teenagers at best. At best. The few supporters I have left, fuck them. Because, I saw TikTok and they were so mean to the demon god. No, that's not. I mean, yeah, he's pretty retarded. Maybe I could see that working a little bit, but no, it's a little more obvious than that. All right, I'm back. I might start doing this actually every single episode. I'm like, I might just start doing this a little differently. I might start fixing all the problems. No, I'm just gonna do them differently. I'll do the same problems different. That's been the story of my life. God damn it. Anyway, so yes, we are occupied by Israel. I think that's what the guy from the last thing was yapping about. Am I right? Yeah, it's getting pretty fucking bad, isn't it? Jared hit me up this morning, Jelly. He said, this war is very interesting, bro. I said, yeah, I need all my normies. I'm waking up all my normie bros. They're like, yo, this war low-key is very interesting, bro. It's not Bitcoin or NFL or sports gambling. That's all my friends care about. They're bros. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm tough. I work out. I'm jacked. I have nice hair. I go to church every week. I'm good. I don't sin ever. And I love football. Go Birds. Shit like that. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You need to worry about the Jews. No, you don't need to worry about the Jews. You do need to worry about, I don't know, war. You need to get involved in war. You need to start doing war. Stop gambling and start going to war. No. Yeah, I guess I got kind of pissed yesterday. I wanted to talk about this. What the fuck was I talking about? Sorry. So I was thinking about maybe I make these like once a week or so. So I was thinking maybe if there's always like, so I'll do an episode and then the next day some shit happens that's way more important and way more relevant to what I'm talking about. I'm like, fuck. What do I do? Oh, I guess I'll just make another episode after, and it's like a week and a half later. Then I'm always behind. And it's like, maybe if I just throughout the week, I'm gonna hop on for 20 minutes and then I'm gonna hop on for 20 minutes and I'll, change clothes every time. You can see I change clothes every single day, most of the time, and I shower even. And Yeah. And yeah, so, I might do it like that. Maybe not. Who fucking cares? Nobody watches this. Also, the last episode did get removed because I guess Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, I believe, personally had the episode removed. It wasn't because of any slurs or anything like that. Nothing. Or music. It wasn't any copyright. No. It was Benjamin Netanyahu specifically. All right. I'm really making this actually hard for people to follow and also take seriously. I guess, I got pissed yesterday. I saw a post. It was like, it had one guy banging a chick, as they do, and the chick was getting banged by the dude. And the chick though was not supposed to be getting banged by that dude because she had a husband, and the husband was over here in a wheelchair, the cuck wheelchair, and he said, "But I stood for Israel," and he was clearly like a military member. He must have been shot. So I guess what the situation was describing a man who joined the military. He was hoping that he could make, a living. He was, of course, that is part of it. It's not like 100% patriotism. Like it's you're getting benefits. It's good. But yeah, he joined. He was willing to die for our country, and instead he got shot in the fucking back, trying to protect some other random Middle Eastern country for financial gain. And he was put into a wheelchair and came home to find his wife getting fucked by a non-military member who did not stand for Israel. Well, first off, that guy can't stand at all. He definitely didn't stand for Israel. He can't stand. And second off, do you think he made that fucking call, lady? I mean, this is the shit. This is why people hate women sometimes. It's like, does this bitch think that he fucking was like, yeah, we actually, I know that I've been stationed in like Panama for, 6 years. We haven't really done anything. It's been beautiful here. Maybe we should take this battle to the Middle East, go boots on the ground and fight 100 million man country that we're actually really not prepared to go against. Yeah, that was his call. That was the guy who got shot in the back. He was cannon fodder. And I understand that this is a meme, this is not a real thing, but the fact that the guy was like, dude, I just gotta repost this, so true. You're a retard. That's not how any of this shit works. None of the soldiers, what percentage of the United States soldiers want to go to war with Iran for Israel's colonialist agenda? And is it not for that? I would love for any of you to do your research, come back to me and show me what the U.S. has to benefit here, all right? Because there's a couple different ways that this goes, and none of it benefits us. Because, first of all, take it back to the starting point, like I said earlier in the last thing, Iran being strong in that region is actually pretty good for us, because it does put a leash on Israel. Like, they are not able to just... clearly they still were able to go and commit genocide in the West Bank and Gaza, but it does make shit a little harder for them to just expand and expand and expand and expand and do that to the next group and the next group and whatever. So destabilizing this country is not good for us. It just really isn't. And they are not really a threat to us. They certainly can't hit us with ballistic missiles. They're talking about these ICBMs or something that I guess could potentially hit us, and they're like 10 years away from that being ready. We also just bombed the living fuck out of them with some bunker busters. Like, bro, your bunker got busted. Oh my god, I'm about to buzz! My bunker about to buzz! So yeah, they don't really pose a threat to us. And people are like, well, they hate us! Well, actually, they hate Israel. They hate us because we show up with them and fight them every few years. Like, we have been battling these fuckers for years. I don't know if I said this again in the, the last thing. Biden could have easily got us into this war. Netanyahu was up his pussy too. It's not like this is the first guy he's, I've always been nervous to ask, but do you think you'd go to war with Iran? Because they're like 10 seconds away from a nuclear bomb. They're about to have it done in like 6 seconds now. We got 2 seconds, kill up! That's kind of how he shows up. But he's been doing that every time for the last 20 years or so, maybe 30 years now. Biden, there was, they punched Iran a few different times, and we pulled out, and, we said, instead of going to war, instead of going along with this completely, he went and parked like a aircraft carrier out there and said, yo, don't fuck with us, and then peaced out, and that chilled it out. So, he did keep us out of that at least twice, and it may have even been more. I'm very much not a Democrat. I don't support the Democratic Party as it exists today. As it pretends to be, I support it more. As the Republican Party pretends to be, I support it more. But none of them are what they claim to be whatsoever. That's why there's like this whole like cognitive dissonance thing is important, because it's like, yeah, maybe, you know, there's all these things that I do agree with on both sides. Like on the left, you know, I don't like, they push a lot for social reform, anti-racism, things like that. That's all good. Like that's all, you know, but when they're also the same party who is bringing in like millions of people a year just for the sake of, number one, NGOs are paying them like per person. They're bringing them in to, you know, change the voting demographics to their side and not really giving them a proper way to citizenship. And then, you know, when you do that, you bring in tons of people, there's all this confusion, and then you have, you know, a right-wing dickhead that comes in. And listen, I also agree. I don't think the border should just be left wide open. You know, people it needs to have a clear path. If you're going to do it, like if you're going to come here, then there needs to be a real and clear and distinct path that you can follow. And, you know, if you don't follow it, then you probably should get deported. Is that super crazy? Now, that system doesn't exist today. It isn't that straightforward. I have friends that have just went through this process and it sucks. And I mean, they were also going through it during the ICE shit. But, you know, in general, it's not a fun thing. It's a ton of waiting. There's not enough judges. There's been a couple bills that would have given some more judges, or it would have created some more judges and hired some more blah, 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 and some more funding to get some of these, like asylum hearings and all that shit handled quicker. But neither side really is interested in getting the shit done because it's such a political tool for both. The Democrat, so like, and this is, I'm getting ahead of myself, I guess. This is how this immigration works in the United States. Just, if you don't pick up anything, understand this. Okay. We go into places like Iran, like we are today. We're going to displace a fuck ton of people. The Democrats will bring them in, get paid to do so. Listen, they're not bad people. They didn't ask for any of this. I'm not blaming them for that. Okay. They bring them here. The Republicans then go, hey, they're bringing them all here to rape you. They're going to rape everyone. That's what they do. Remember Lake and Riley? Really? You think, oh, so you think brown people and white people are pretty similar. What about Lake and Riley though? Yeah, I mean, that was a fucked up thing that I don't support. I mean, yeah, that's terrible. That's why we need better. Yeah, well, brown people need to get out. Or what? We're not gonna have apple pie, baseball, Taylor Swift. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't love apple pie or Taylor Swift that much, and baseball will be okay. You ever seen the Mexicans, the lads, get out there? They're going fucking yard, okay? Those guys, they're not just, you know, they're not just good at being slaves for the Democrats at corporations, and the Republicans as well, don't get me wrong. They're absolutely, I mean, why do you think Trump said, oh, well, we're going to get them all out of here and make his base super pleased, and then go, well, my donors actually kind of use most of them as slaves since they're undocumented, and they can pay them like $1 under the table and say, I'm bringing Stephen Miller down here to fuck your ass if you complain or want to raise. Well, I don't know who Stephen Miller is, but I don't know how anything works because I was brought here and not explained anything. I would love to be a citizen, but I'm either going to get put into the wrong country by you, or if I ask Joe Biden, he goes, how about chocolate crunch? Chocolate chip ice cream. No, Joe, I need citizenship. Give you a little sniffy. Smell like the best of the chocolate chip. Your skin is so chocolate chip colored. You're not supposed to be here. Biden, no, he's going back to his old ways. He's forgetting he's woke. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Biden was pretty racist back in the day. Anyway, whatever, that doesn't fucking matter. You don't believe me about I don't know, I don't know, our soldiers don't really have a choice here? Do you think they have a choice? Do you think we should blame them? Are they all just cucks? They're cucks for Israel. Just get dishonorably discharged, bro. Dude, it's so easy. Just desert. Just get dishonorably discharged. It's okay. Who cares that all your benefits from the VA will be gone? Who cares that you're now a criminal? Who cares you can never vote or really work? No one's gonna fucking hire you. You can't get welfare anymore. Can't really work. So you're gonna be homeless. Probably gonna have a drug addiction issue, and the VA isn't gonna help you with that. So, yeah, you can die. Hey, you don't want to fight? You don't want to die for Israel? Okay, well, go die for nothing. Okay, well, same thing, kind of, but at least I could do it on my terms. It's a little better, but honestly, what the fuck do you really expect people to do? They're probably just gonna get on the boat and hope for the best. It's kind of like the better option, other than just like, you know, rolling the dice on that fucking life. And shit, what was I gonna say? I got distracted. So yeah, I mean, you can't desert. You don't want to get dishonorably discharged or else your life is over. So, there is another option. This is a pretty good option. You could, remember that one guy? He was like a military member and he was like, I actually just kind of figured out what's going on here and what I signed up for. So now that I've weighed my options, I'm going to burn myself in front of the embassy of Israel. So he did that. Remember that guy? He burned himself alive. And did that wake anybody up? That do anything? I'm not hating on him. It certainly, I would say it should have. I would say if you were walking and you're, it's a building, beautiful. Oh, the Israel embassy or whatever. That guy's on fire. That's kind of how it is walking through the world now here, because everyone's either homeless, bent over, folded like a chair, because they're on Chinese drugs we've never dreamed of. I mean, you've got to be so fucking high. Fentanyl probably fucking rules. But yeah, so it's not even that big a deal to see a guy on fire. It's like, my God, that he did not have his coffee this morning. Yeah, Israel's using me and all my friends to kill brown children so they can have more space and stuff. What are you, an anti-Semite? Burn yourself to death in front of the fucking embassy so we can meme you. It's like, God damn, dude, what are your options? Well, I feel really bad for him, and that's why that post, even though it's literally a fucking meme, the fact that people were in this replies agreeing, it's like, wow, you really have no fucking idea how anything works like at all, do you? Because that's clearly not the guy to blame. Now, is there people in the military that are excited to go kill? Yeah, like the military attracts that sort of thing. That's not most of these guys, though. They're mostly like just guys that didn't really try that hard in high school and, didn't have $300 million in an offshore account because their parents were lazy, What, you don't have a little tech startup? Your dad doesn't have a little tech startup and a trust fund for you? Okay, well, then you're going to have to die for fucking Israel. Or burn yourself here, And listen, it's not that big a deal. People used to freak out over seeing guys burning themselves alive in public. That doesn't sway us anymore. Yeah, I mean, dude, he's a lib. People were just like, he's a libtard. Literally, I swear to God, that was the fucking response to the guy on fire, burning to death. Like, being like, he was in so much fucking pain. He probably spent 5 minutes saying Free Palestine the entire time. And I'm sure like 12 seconds in, he was like, why is this still happening? Why is this? I thought this was supposed to be quick. This is taking 5 fucking minutes, okay? And yeah, that guy's a fucking libtard. That's the level of discourse that we have. Yeah, that guy was probably a fucking lib. Yeah, maybe he was a lib, but like shouldn't we try to hear him out? Like, he did light himself on fire in public. A military member found out what they were doing and lit himself on fire in front of a government building. And we said, what a libtard, what a retard. Like, we're cooked. I mean, he's cooked, but we're cooked. None of this shit sways us. How does that not fucking sway us? It didn't sway me. I mean, I agreed with him back at the time, but I also was like, that's kind of retarded, bro. Like, you probably could have helped more by not, burning yourself, by not creating an effigy of yourself, a ball statue. Iran burned a ball statue. That's why we're there. So why was that guy burning his own effigy of his body then? If this just started yesterday? I don't know. But, it's just like, that's the world we live in now. It's fucking crazy as shit. Like, there's just, none of that shit's even weird anymore. It's like, a guy got ran over by a train. I don't know if you heard about this a week or two ago. And another guy, he was very hungry, I guess, I would say. That's how I would diagnose this guy. He was a very hungry guy. He was a homeless guy. He would go into the liquor store 5 or 6 times a day, they said. Just basic shit. We've all been there. You included. And the other guy, very hungry guy, said, oh, what am I, at the Renaissance Fair? It's a turkey leg. Oh, it's a turkey leg. Well, not turkey leg. It's a guy leg. And he was munching on the guy's severed leg that got. Why do people kill themselves by train? Stop killing yourself by train. Stop killing yourself in general, you know? That doesn't, clearly we've been over that. That doesn't work. You can burn yourself in front of the embassy of Israel and it will be a meme. It won't even, no one will care. So, you know, at this point, why is this guy even getting charged with a crime? You got the guy that's eating a leg and, you know, they went to the woman that worked at the liquor store and she was like, that guy? What? The homeless drug addict? That guy that buys liquor 6 times a day? No. It couldn't have been that guy. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I think he does suffer from hungry. He does. He's very he's a hungry hippo. He's out there jousting and shit, eating a turkey leg. You know, was the guy using the leg anymore? No. He suicided by train. Again, worst way to go. That sucks. You get ground. Imagine being and if you're just a fucking, you have a hangover, you're a conductor, you're like, dude, this shit sucks, just get me through this fucking shift. And you turn a guy into ground beef, and you go, oh my God. You turn around, you see the guy, you see the entrails behind you that you just flattened, and some autistic kid was, you know, I love when I got to see a suicide by train today. That's autism people's favorite thing about trains. Why do they love trains? No, they don't love trains. It's all in the search to see one suicide by train. That's an autism kid's dream. One suicide by train. They don't even care. Autism's gone. They're fixed. They're normal. They're like, yo, I love bitches now. Fuck trains. Been there, done that. But anyway, the guy turns around and he goes, oh, well, thank God. I thought I was going to get wasted. I used to work at 7-Eleven and I fucking hated when I'd make all those mincemeat burgers, and if we didn't sell them all, I couldn't even give them away to the homeless. You had to throw them out. You know, I know people that have to take pictures of that shit when they worked at those places, like actually, it's fucking crazy. So they know that it wasn't given to the homeless because of liability issues. What? Because that burger might be 3 hours expired sitting in a fridge? This guy just ate a leg off the fucking train tracks. So I think the burger will be okay. You want to talk about mincemeat? That guy enjoyed some mincemeat. And I don't know, I mean, it probably wasn't that quick, but I hope it was for that sake. I hope it was that quick. I hope that guy was waiting there. Leg landed in his lap and he's like, oh my God, I literally just prayed for a meal. What am I going to do? Be ungrateful? And then we have these fucking pigs. You know, this is even worse than the ICE stuff. Yeah, you shoot out Alex Preddy, liberal. He's a lib, so I mean, whatever, who cares? What, a nurse? A hot nurse that's gone to school and works to help people all day tries to show up and help a lady that got pushed to the ground. Yeah, they put 10 in his fucking head. That's bad. I'm not saying I support that, but this is way more worse. This is way more worse than that. Yeah, that guy was he was enjoying lunch. Can't even eat fucking lunch in this country anymore without a fucking liberal calling the cops on you. Oh my God, he's eating a fucking guy's leg. Okay, well, did he take it from him? No, the guy fucking suicided by train. Well, I mean, listen, that should have just obliterated him, but listen, God has a plan. Nothing is wasted in God's economy, as I like to say. So what is I guess a raccoon could have enjoyed it, but there must have been other stuff for the raccoons to enjoy that day. So God blessed this homeless man with a wonderful treat. He said, yeah, that's a very raw human leg from a guy that, I mean, I don't think, if you're getting ready for suicide, I don't think you're taking care of yourself that well. I don't think you're eating well. I mean, that guy, I don't think he was like a vegetarian, and maybe, I mean, if you're vegetarian, your likelihood of jumping in front of a train goes up. Because you don't have a lot of the joy in life that comes from, like, meat. That's also fucked up. Why do we get... I really think animals... I don't like eating them to death. No, but, yeah, so listen, this is all... None of that shit does anything. Nobody cares. You can light yourself on fire. You can, you know... You might as well suicide bomb at the embassy and someone goes, oh, libtard, liberal. You know, it's like, or stupid MAGA. Yeah, stupid MAGA suicide bombed into the embassy. Stupid ass Trumper. Well, that's a big deal. Shouldn't we like see why they did that? Anti-Semitism. They did that for anti-Semitism. They suicide bombed. The guy lit him. I mean, we'll even talk about it. I'm sure that the people, these guys, if you look back at the story of that, I think his name was Alex as well. You know, before he became medium rare, I'm sure he was a very woke guy, and I'm sure that he really was not a fan of anti-Semitism. And then when he saw that, a genocide was happening and he was kind of forced to be compliant with a genocide, like a genocide. I want to be clear on this. It's a genocide. They committed a genocide. This country committed a genocide, right? So they don't get to actually claim like, oh, you're being racist or anti. No. You're doing the Holocaust. Like, if let's say people call Hitler a faggot, would you say that that's homophobic? And I'm sure you could argue that, like, hey, you're just kind of taking it out on the gay guys to shit on Hitler. But that's not really the point. Like, I think Hitler actually deserves to be called bad names, right? And Israel, the new Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu, yeah, they're doing the Holocaust. Is that an argument? Do you have an argument against this? That the kids and women in Gaza, which it mostly was, because, I wonder why they have such a short lifespan. Huh. I don't know. Let me think about this. Let me Larry think about this for a minute. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, kind of makes sense. So if you think it was not a genocide, I would say let's try to, maybe look at some media that wasn't put out by the government of Israel. What? I checked I checked Hitler's blog. He literally says it's not a genocide, and that the Jews actually keep trying to turn off the ovens, but the Jews keep throwing more of the other Jews into them and jumping into it. That's literally like the exact same fucking thing. Like, you can just switch it. Netanyahu, like, he goes on the Nelk Boys podcast. We are in fucking hell, by the way. So he goes on the Nelk Boys. You got Steiny. You got Mr. Jew. That might as well be your name, Steiny. And so Mr. Jew he hears all this out, and you got Kyle over there. Yo, the people over there say that you are basically not feeding them, like you keep them all in one spot, you took all the food and you don't let them have the food, and it's all like little kids. Why do people say you're starving them? Well, because we keep trying to bring the Burger King in, and they don't even fucking like Burger King. So Hamas, what they do is they take all the Burger King. They wear the Burger King crown, and they use the N-word. Oh, they use the N-word. Okay, so we should actually eliminate them. Get that Palestinian bitch off the plate. Yeah. So he was just like, we try to bring the food in, and you know what happens? Hamas blocks it. The people like that are trying to kill you because you've been killing all of their people now are deciding to take your side, kill their own people, starve their own kids and shit to death, so that they can get rich off of the aid there that they're going to sell to who exactly? Each other? They have no money, jobs, or places. There's no places there anymore. So, like, he tries to say that Hamas steals all of the aid, sells all of the aid, gets rich. Yo, Hamas? You think, bro, they're upper middle class, okay? What exactly would they do with the money? If they can't leave, you can't exactly go outside because there's drones everywhere that will shoot you down instantly. All of the gunshot wounds that we see on the children are typically it's one shot through the stomach, through the head. They're kill shots, and they come from these drones that are making these decisions that can't exactly be court-martialed. And you know what the most fun thing is? These drones are also operating using programs called Lavender, which that sounds a little more. It's just Lavender. And then what about the gospel? I bring this up every fucking episode. That's just so evil, bro. The gospel. Israel is flying drones using a program called the gospel to decide which children it's going to blow the heads off of. Here's a spoiler alert. It's all of them. God did. God did not do that. God doesn't love you. Even if you're right and like Jesus isn't real and like the Jews are right about all that, God hates you. And if he loves you, then God sucks. Because, I don't know, I just don't really think I don't really like a God that's like, you need more stuff. Just genocide them. What are you going to have less? You're going to not have enough stuff? You have no freaking elbow room. You have no elbow room in Israel. You guys expand. But there's all these kids and women over there in those tents and stuff. Blow it up. I gave you drones. It was God. I did that. That was part of my plan. That's the shit. That's why I get pissed when people are like, dude, everything. They're like, one thing I've learned, it'll be like and listen, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I am an asshole. But there was like a 50-year-old woman that I was talking to, and she's awesome. I don't dislike her at all. Think she's awesome. I don't know about love her. I don't know her that well, but she's cool. But she said the one thing that I've learned that I know is true is that everything, and I mean everything, happens for a reason. Oh, so you don't know about most of the stuff that happens then? Why would God do that? Well, God has a plan. Yeah, well, no, you say that because you're alive and fine. Like it feels like God had a plan for my life because I beat cancer. But my buddy had the same cancer and beat it and then got it again and then beat it and then got it again and then died. Was that God's plan for him? He was like, well, yeah, you don't have much to offer actually, so let's just make you suffer for a couple years and die. I don't think that would be his plan. I just don't think that's how God works. I don't think he's orchestrating everything that ever happens, because then there's definitely no free will. If everything is his plan, all of the things you're doing already are orchestrated by his amazing plan of, death, disease, and war. No, I think that God actually, he gave us this world that is beautiful, that actually does have like cures to the diseases and beautiful places to go and be. I think he gives us that, and he says, try not to genocide each other and try not to rape each other. And we go, no, not happening, bud. Do you understand how much you put so much gold and silver and rock stuff that do awesome things in the dirt? Okay. Well, yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah, no, I need theirs today. Okay, well, you're going to share it with... No, I'll just kill everyone. Oh, no, you're not supposed to kill everyone. God's plan. No, not my plan. That's not my fucking plan. Stop fucking saying that's my plan. Nobody... What the fuck are you talking about? And, if it is his plan, I guess I apologize, but that guy sucks then. No offense, God. I think he would understand. If genocide was God's plan, I would say that God sucks and that God would understand that, because I'm pretty confident it's not, and that's not how this works. All right? So, no, Mr. Netanyahu, it is not God's plan for, everybody to starve to death that isn't a Jewish guy that you like, actually. I think that other people can eat things and be in places, and there might be some cool minerals under their feet. That doesn't mean you get to cut their feet off and start digging. And go, well, we'll use your body. We'll dig out all the rocks and throw your bodies in there. It's like a 2 birds, 1 stone. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 2 Palestinians, 1 stone. Perfect. So, did I even talk about this? I keep meaning to, and I'm sure I've started it like 5 times, but I don't know if you saw this guy, the guy that went and got fucking, this Marine, his name's Brian Simpson, I believe, or Simmons, or I think it's Brian Simpson. He is actually running in the Green Party, and he has been. It's not like he's just using this, but he's been running in the Green Party for Senate or governor or something in North Carolina. And he went to the Senate hearing, and he said, he stood up and he said, we don't want to die for Israel. I think that's pretty fair. And all the Republican senators said, yes, the fuck you do, pussy. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It says in the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed. That's not in the Bible, but it doesn't matter. We've never read it. So who gives a fuck? Fuck you. It's basically what he said, and he stood up, ran over, and slammed his fucking hand in the door. I need to get, who the fuck is this Marine? And he looks like he's, I don't know, 50? Bro, it took like 19 people to get this guy out. He was dead ass, like a 90-degree angle, just, they own the news, they own the media. And they do. Give us back TikTok. Yeah. So, you get the fucking point. Why am I pretending like that just happened? It's clearly darker in here. I'm like, I'm just, no cut. Professional editing. It's clearly like an hour or 2 later. So I'll just admit that now. I had to cut there. I finished the video, and I'm like, I'm editing. I'm like, I just ended the shit. I didn't fucking say bye. No bye-bye, nothing. I hate when people just hang up. My girlfriend does that to me every single time she hangs up. She just, for some reason, she just is like, okay, bye. Hangs up. I'm like, I'm calling you back. Do you understand? Like, you're going to say, bye, I love you, daddy, which is what she always does. She loves saying that to me on the phone in public. She goes, daddy's calling. I was going to say big D daddy, but almost average daddy. Almost average daddy just hit my line. Is it Nancy? Is it Pelosi? It's Benjamin Netanyahu. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were my daddy. Oh no, I am daddy. I am daddy. I'm Burger King. You like Burger King, dude? That's your worst take. Easy. You know that's your worst take? I know that you think that brown children need to be eliminated because they're brown and they're in your space where you want stuff. But Burger King, bro, that shit ass. But yeah, so just want to say goodbye. We'll recap really quickly. What did we talk about? Does anyone fucking remember? Okay, yeah, the right and the left. Try to be fucking friends for once. Be nice. You know, we need groceries, so that's kind of more important than whether or not Caitlin Clark gets dunked on by a trans man. Like, I'm not exactly advocating for that. That'd be kind of sick to see, but no. It's not really the biggest concern right now. I think bigger would be, I don't know, eating and sleeping in a place that has a roof. So until we all have roofs, we don't have to eat each other's legs when we kill ourselves. You know, like that guy that burned himself. That homeless guy's probably pissed. He's like, fuck, I could have found, that guy was cooked. He was ready. He was literally, I said it earlier, it was medium rare. Perfect. This one was literally raw. And it still wouldn't even let me freaking munch. Such bullshit. Anyway. So yes, let's work together. Let's be friends. Yeah, we're not free as a country. You know, we've been over that. What else? Gay marriage shouldn't be legal. Did we talk about that? No, okay, I'll save that for next episode. That gay marriage should not be legal because I just don't get it. Why would two boys get married? Like, whoa. You marry a girl. Like, you ever see a princess, bro, and you want a cock? You see a princess, you grow up, you see, oh, it's Snow White. It's Snow White, and all you can think about is those 7 fucking dwarfs? No, I don't know what we'll talk about next time, but it'll be awesome. It won't be gay marriage. So tune in, enjoy. I hope this was coherent, and I love you guys so much. And I'll see you guys soon. I'm back on schedule. I'm on spring break, so pretty much tomorrow I'm working on the next shit. Because this one isn't going to get views either. So until this blows up and I don't need a fucking job anymore. Yeah, some people were like, oh, dude, you think you're going to run for public office or something? You're ruining everything by doing this. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. There's not going to be jobs soon. There's not going to be money or houses. Well, there already isn't most of those things, but the ones that are left are going to be gone. Yeah, I called Randy Fine a fag on here a couple times. There's worse words for him. It fits. I believe the stuff that I'm saying, so I'm gonna rock out with it, and when I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. I'm the first one to call me retarded, so we'll just keep rocking out. And yeah, if I become the president, that's fucking sick, and if I go to jail because I forgot to pay my taxes, and Israel ends up controlling the world and putting everyone in jail that has a podcast, that would be unfortunate, but like, bro, I don't know what's gonna go on. So, might as well just keep spitting fucking bars. Alright, love you guys. Have a blessed one, and I'll see you very soon. Incredibly soon. Love you.